So I'm going to show you how you can take a power station like this and add more battery power to it to give you longer run times with this power station. This power station right here is actually a very well used power station that we have when we're going off grid or camping or at our cabin. This a lot of times will run computers, the internet, phones, anything that uses a small amount of energy but we use very often. This unit provides up to 420 watts of continuous AC power. Then it also provides DC options. So I have 12-volt accessory port here. I've got a power plug here that can be DC out. These are two USB-A ports and two USB-C ports. And then it has a light on it. I mean, it's just a great little power station that we've used for many years. The one thing that I wish this had was more battery storage. Problem is, if it had more battery storage, it would be bigger, bulkier, and I probably wouldn't use it as much. So I'm going to show you how you can take a power station like this and add more battery power to it to give you longer run times with this power station. And it's simple, really. You just look at what this power station can charge at. In this case, I would be looking at the solar rating on this. So you can do DC in, which is this little port here on this power station. And that is where you would hook any kind of solar charger, anything like that to charge this up. Even the AC charger that you'd plug into the wall would still go into this DC in. Now this unit can only charge at 100 watts. So you possibly could still run out. You could use 400 watts of power going out and only have 100 watts of power going in. It would still extend the runtime, but not by a great amount, maybe 25%. But I don't ever run this thing at 420 watts. Maybe at very peak times when everything is plugged in, maybe I get close to that, but usually 40, 50, 60 watts is all I'm pulling out of this. So by using a port like this on your power station, you can just get standard, inexpensive lithium iron phosphate batteries. This here is a vevor lithium iron phosphate battery. Great price on this on Amazon. This one was one that I was sent so I could review, and it's a pretty nice battery. It does what it needs to do. It does everything that it's advertised. So I could get a battery like this, I could plug it into this power station, and then I could use this power station. While I'm using this power station, it's also charging itself, which is extending its ability to be used longer. This here is a cable that you can purchase. This one's one that I've made, but this one has like a multi-ended pigtail, I guess you could say, that has different plugs on the end. So this rounded connector actually does plug in to the DC in on this power station. So at the end of this cable, I've got an SAE quick connect, and I have this other connector that uses SAE quick connect, and I just have regular terminal rings on this. Now I can put this on the battery and power in this 12.8 volt battery from the battery into this DC port, which is the solar charging port, and it can accept anywhere from 12 volts, I think, up to 30 volts. So I could technically run this at 24 volts using two batteries and charge this up, but I can still get 100 watts just off of 12 volts. So in this instance, for this power station, I don't need to double the voltage going in. I can still max it out with just 12 volts. I'll just go in here, put the negative on, put the positive on, and now we'll watch this power station start charging. 64 watts, 78 watts, 86 watts, 99. It's going to be around 100. Now this being a solar port, it can get different voltages and amperages coming into that port, and it's going to manage that. So the fact that it's got 12 volts coming in, which is probably more like 13.6 volts coming in, it knows it can only handle 100 watts. So it's going to balance that out. This battery could easily put out way more than 100 watts, even using this cable. But this thing right here is going to regulate itself and make sure that it doesn't charge at more than 100 watts. And as you can see, the wattage going in will go up and down, and that's based on the temperatures and just all of the logic that's inside of this power station. So if you look at here, it's estimating it'll be fully charged in 1.2 hours, something like that. And since I use this right here for many hours throughout the day, I'm essentially taking the battery capacity here and adding it to the battery capacity here. And now I have over 1500 watt hours, because I think this is 288 watt hours and this is 1280 watt hours. And as long as I'm not draining this faster than I can get it charged, then it will consume all of these watt hours of power into this unit, I'll still be able to do AC using the inverter in it, and I'll still be able to use DC for whatever I need. So this is just a good way to add battery capacity to some of these smaller power stations that you may use but want more battery capacity from them. When I use this thing, it usually lasts me 4 to 6 hours, maybe a full 8-hour day if I'm using my laptop. But if I put this battery on it, I probably could get 2 to 3 days out of it, which would really extend that. I wouldn't have to keep bringing it out, charging it with solar. So that's it charging up, but what about if I'm using power? This power station has a button in the back that you have to click and hold to turn AC power on, and it shows you right here, it turns on AC power. Then now I'm just going to turn this on, and what you see right now is we're pumping in about 100 watts, and I'm using about 87. So even though I'm using 87 watts, which is less than I think my internet and my laptop use at the same time, this power station will stay charged because it is charging faster than it's being used. So it's going to really be draining this battery while it's charging this unit. When this unit gets charged 100%, then it's really just going to be using this battery power and keeping this thing topped off until this battery no longer wants to provide power. Then you would fall back on this power. When I turn it off, you'll see the used wattage goes down. It still uses just a little bit of power because I have the AC inverter on. So it's using about 4 watts just being in standby mode. As soon as I turn that off, now that that's dropped off, it's using 0 watts. And it's going back to doing nothing but charging. I hope this information was helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Y'all take care.